come into the office and I see one of the team leaders crying, bro. Crying. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I see my friend whom I lived with. He's sitting there in his computer and saying, yeah, bro, like, don't look too much. Don't say too much. A couple suits are going to come get you in like a second.
Welcome back, troopers. Sounds like a commercial or something. I don't know, but
we'll get it. We'll fine tune it.
We're glad to be here, and we're glad that you're here. First off, before we get into the thick of it, so to speak, I just want to say, if you haven't already subscribed, please do check out patreon.com/truenesspodcast, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, man. Send us a little comment. As we say always, send us some love, send us some hate. We don't discriminate.
Nice.
All right. I just want to start this off the bat with a good question.
Okay.
What's a time you got really lucky, bro?
Really lucky?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because I can't recall, and I've actually gotten this question before, and I think I had the same issue. I can't recall a time in life or a specific moment that necessarily feels lucky, in the sense that you feel like you're lucky you dodged a car or dodged a bullet in some way, you know.
Fair.
I can't recall that, but I can recall that one of the small joys of being a kid were that, with all the struggles that were there and everything, was that apparently as a kid I was really lucky in competitions.
Oh yeah?
So on numerous occasions I've won, free stuff from here and there and so on. But one time I won a year's free pizzas from Pizza Hut when that was still in Denmark.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean I don't know when I got lucky? That's crazy.
That is crazy. And I won...
Wait, hold on. Pause. Sorry to cut you off. Because I've always wondered this. What does a year's free pizza mean? You just go on that bitch and get unlimited for a year, or?
No, there was a certain amount. I don't remember it, but...
That's not really unlimited though, is it?
No, but they counted, how much... I know today they counted based on, for example, if they say you get a life's worth of toilet paper or something, they have calculated how much one person would use in a life.
Yeah, one
and that's
sheet
what you
per
get.
shit, yeah, type of shit. Yeah.
Maybe, but yeah, so I remember that year my family was overjoyed because then we didn't have to spend money on that much food, but it was also bad food, so we didn't go there all the time because my mom also liked to cook and so on and so on. But yeah, that was good. And then another time I won like season passes to the local theme park, Tivoli.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For like
what are you talking about? You got hella lucky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was lucky as a kid, but to me, for the question you're asking, it's not that type of luck you're after with that question, to me. But I was lucky. So
I think you were really lucky, bro. But yeah, as you've probably deduced, I have a story about a time I was lucky. Yeah. All right, bro. So this is one of the abroad stories. Yeah, this is the first time I lived in Spain. So
Age?
This is the 18 one.
Okay.
I went there when I was 18 and must have been March of 11.
Okay.
Right, and the plan was to live and work there for a year, chill, enjoy the weather, hang out, meet some new cool people and stuff, and then go back and then study uni, because this was after high school.
Yeah.
It was after high school where I hadn't really decided what I wanted to do, couldn't really find a job, and then my boy hit me up. He was already working down there, and he was like, yeah, we just talked randomly, and I was like, yeah, bro, I'm kind of struggling at the moment. I can't really find a job. And he was like, bro, they're looking for people right now in this call center that speak Danish. And you speak Danish. And I was like, I do speak Danish. And you also speak Spanish. And I said, I do speak Spanish. So you should come live here. And then I did. I just moved. It took not a long time, bro. So I think,
was it hard convincing you?
No, bro. No, it wasn't. I had a girl at the time, and we weren't really broken up. We were like, it wasn't like an on and off thing. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going, right? All right, so get down there, call center thing. Everything is going great, right? And we lived together. It was like, I have a bunch of stories from that as well. We lived together in one apartment, then we moved to a really nice place. Because the thing is, we lived in a Spanish city
Yeah.
that, was on the border of Gibraltar where we worked.
Okay.
So we would get like Gibraltarian salary, but we would live in like La Línea de la Concepción, as it's called, which is basically like I saw someone in a series called The Wild West, right? Because it's a it's like a hub of drugs. So the drugs come in a lot of drugs come into Europe from there. So like a poor place, which meant that we could move to an apartment complex where like doctors and lawyers live. So it was really really cool. So yeah, we lived there. Again, like I said, bunch of stories from there. We'll save that for another time. What I'm
Okay.
trying to get to is that obviously, like I told you, the plan was to stay there for a year, right?
Yeah.
And then I had a month's notice, right? And this day I'm about to tell you about was the day I was going to go in to hand in my notice,
Right.
right? So usually when I would come into the office, I would come in, I would say hi to HR, just because I had like really good connections there.
Mm.
Shout out Donna.
Hell
And I
yeah,
would
Don.
go in, I would say hi to everybody, say hi to my boss, sit down with the team, look at like the inbox, because like call center work, right? Emails
Yeah.
and phone calls and live chats. Okay, this day I come up, Donna's not at her seat, right? She's not at her seat. No.
Where's Donna?
Yeah, well, we were about to find out. Come into the office and I see one of the team leaders crying, bro. Crying. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I see my friend whom I lived with, he's sitting there in his computer saying, yeah, bro, like, don't look too much, don't say too much. A couple suits are gonna come get you in like a second. Because we had the same language covered, we worked different shifts. So he would work like the
Right.
morning shift, I would work like the afternoon, evening shift. I was like, okay, bet shit. Right. So these two suits come to get me, and then they're like, "Hey, could you please follow us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, and then on the way out, I'm like, "Am I going to be happy at the end of this conversation?" And they're like, "It's like, did I do something wrong?" No. We'll explain everything. Right?
I feel like they always say you didn't do something wrong, and then you did. But
I didn't. But
let's see where this goes.
yeah, it'll make sense. So we go into this meeting room, right? And they sit me down, and they basically say, "Look, before anything, we just want you to read this." And they give me like I want to say like 5-6 pages, or maybe 10 pages of documents.
Okay.
And then once you've read it, ask us any questions, but we will recap everything to make sure you understand what's happening. Bro, basically, let me just rewind a bit. So we were talking in the early episode about like salaries, working, living abroad. I believe mine was like between 18 and 21,000 pounds a year. Not a lot, but bro, I lived like a king down there. I lived like a king. I ate out 5 times a week because it was so cheap.
Yeah.
There was this really, 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 really good restaurant called La Chacra, which was like an Argentinian brasserie.
Oh, okay.
So, they had like hella meat, bro. Yeah.
Did you also eat raw Argentinian ribeye?
I don't,
like me?
no, bro. I like mine cooked, but it was a really, really good restaurant. If you're ever in Gibraltar and you're looking for a great place to eat, go to La Línea, go to La Chacra if it's still there. Hella bang for your buck. I'll tell another story about that at some point.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the story. So they give me the papers, right? I'm reading it. And what I can deduce from the papers is that the company has decided to terminate its call center here in Gibraltar.
Oh.
Mind you, bro, I was going to hand in my notice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They decided to terminate the call center in Gibraltar. They're moving it to Romania. And I was later told it's basically because 3 of the workers down there will cost 1 of us. Okay, bet. Go through the pages, boring lawyer stuff and like contract stuff.
Yeah.
Until, bro, I see this number and it says 5,500 pounds, right? And when I see that, I just freeze, right? Because, bro, I was actually, the reason why I was looking for Donna that day was because I was like, yo, Donna, I'm going to go to my boss. I need to like, hand in my resignation. How do I do that?
Oh, shit.
So, bro, I read this number, yeah, which is my severance package. They're giving me a severance package of 5,500 because I've worked there for X amount of time. So when I read that, bro, I'm sort of in shock, right? Because I don't have to, first of all, I didn't have to resign.
No.
They sort of fired me, right? But then on top of that, they were giving me 5,500 pounds, bro, which to 19-year-old me, bro, at that time, that was 55,000 crowns.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, I'm sitting there and then I'm not giving any thought to the people I've seen crying, but that'll make sense later, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm reading this number and then I read it again and again, like the sentence. And then I just asked them, like, I'm almost finished, but I just need to understand, is this the number? Is this the amount of money you're giving me as the severance package? And they're like, yeah, it is. Okay, cool. I really, really, really hurry through the last of the pages. I'm like, okay, look, I recapped it for them.
Right.
And then I like understand this and this and this, and I'm receiving this. And, I said, it's unfortunate, but, business is business or some shit like that, right?
Trying
And
to
they're like,
mask
yeah,
that
no. And then we're like,
happiness.
is there anything you want to ask us about? Do you need to talk to anybody? I was like, no, you know what? I think I'll manage. So I was like, I shook their hands and
Yeah.
then I left. And then I stood outside because they remained in the meeting room, right? I stood
Yeah.
outside and was like, what am I going to do, bro? Because I just had this jolt of energy running through me, like running through me.
I bet.
And I was like, I can't go into the office right now because I'm
No.
just gonna be sitting there like a fucking like happy bomb
Yeah.
while people are fucking crying, right? So what I do is I go out to the bathroom, bro, and then I just stand there for like a good 1 minute 30, and I just like jump and cheer because, bro, that was so much money to me.
Yeah.
That was so much money to me, and like I don't actually remember because the thing is the 5,500 was what I got after taxes. So
Okay.
I got that deposited into my account, right? So I go out and then now it's starting to make sense why my guy was sitting like my friend was sitting the way he was sitting because I
Yeah.
like in retrospectively I could tell that he was also trying to keep it in because we had basically agreed that we would go home at the same time as well, right? Which would kind of like fuck the company, but then
Yeah.
they fucked us, or not us, but the other workers. So it worked out just fine. Anyways, I go in and like team leader still like not crying but like sobbing, right? And the reason she was sobbing was because it wasn't only like us, like the customer service, it was like the
Mm.
risk team as well. And like she like and her husband both worked at the company, so their lives were fucked work wise, bro.
Right.
Meanwhile, I sit down next to my friend, sorry, and then I like say to him in Danish, and I say, okay, so that just happened. Then he gave me a little smirk and he said, "We'll talk after work." And then I went on about my day, and like I was really sympathetic to the people who wanted to talk about
Right.
their experience with this and like what it would mean for them. But bro, when we came home, we celebrated, bro. I'm
I
talking
bet.
bottles, and I think we went out and like came home at like 7 or something. Did we go to the casino? Maybe, I don't know. A lot of shit happened that night,
Mm.
but just to say that was one of the times where I felt like I got really lucky, bro. By the way, that money blew it real quick when I got home.
Of
Real
course.
quick, yeah,
At
yeah.
that age,
Young and
yeah.
dumb, bro. Young and dumb.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little story from Spain right there for you,
That is crazy lucky, but also a crazy story.
bro. Yeah,
I can
I
just,
could feel it now, bro. I can feel it
yeah.
now. Like, bro, I was so happy.
Yeah.
Like to the point where, bro, to the point where I had to go to the bathroom so I could have some privacy, so I could fucking like rejoice and cheer and fucking like just let that shit like let the endorphins rush through my
Yeah.
body. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, that was an amazing
I can
experience for
just,
me. Sucked for everybody else,
yeah.
except me and Matt. Sucked for everybody else.
Yeah.
And just to add to the story, there were people there that hadn't been there the requisite time in order to get the severance package. Bro, they were pissed, and we had like signed NDAs, so we couldn't really
Mm.
talk about it. I mean, I guess if they come after me now, whatever, right? It's been so
Yeah.
long, they probably don't care. But yeah, bro, they were pissed, and they were constantly asking us like, "How much are you getting?" I was like, "Bro, I'm not telling you." Like,
No.
come on, bro, don't be like that. You don't be like that. What if I don't get the money just because I told you? I won't
Yeah.
tell anyone. What's the point then?
Yeah.
Just no one getting bank
Don't mess with an NDA.
cake, bro,
I can
cake.
just imagine the scene, sort of like a movie scene of you on the bathroom, standing around, like waving your arms, all silently
Bro, I
because,
punched the ceiling.
yeah,
You know those ceiling plates that are made out
yeah,
not
yeah.
foam, right, but the really weak ones
Yeah.
and like the square ones. I punched one of them, bro.
I bet.
Punch one of them.
I
Pound, pound, pound.
bet.
And then I just stood there, like silently screaming. I was like, sort of like Super Saiyan charging.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Happiness flowing through my veins, flowing
Fuck
through
yeah.
my veins.
I bet. Damn.
Yeah, that was fuck, bro. That was no, but that was fucking awesome, man. We were so happy. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shout out my guy, by the way. He knows who he is. But,
Yeah, that's
yeah, that
crazy.
was really good.
All right. Well, that was a great story, but jumping on to the next story, because I actually brought another working abroad story as well. So
Fairness, working abroad
last
stories
week,
today.
yeah, yeah. So last week I told the poop story, the shit story. whatever you
Yeah,
wanna call
just
it.
like the legendary story, bro. That
Yeah.
one, I know the one I have right now was good. The other ones I've told was good. That one was peak nonfiction, bro.
Yeah, that's nonfiction. Yeah,
That's
and
actually fucked up shit that happened in real life. Not a dancing plague, but that's actually fucked up shit that happened in real life.
oh,
You see what I did
I
there?
see what you
You're a
did there.
rapper, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, Patreon.
yep, check it out. But anyway, so I brought another story from England,
Mm.
and as I said, I have many stories, but on this topic, I thought it kind of relevant. So the company I was working for was sort of a call center. We were sitting in England doing support for people in Denmark. That was any type of support on broadband, on like internet
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
phones or
yeah.
whatever.
I've had one of those jobs, so it's long, bro. Call
It
center
is.
jobs are long,
It
but
is.
pay the bills, right?
At least I didn't have to like cold call out. I
Yeah,
couldn't
no, no,
survive
no.
that. Couldn't survive
I
that.
have
But
another story about that. I'm going to tell you on one
okay,
of the other
okay.
episodes.
But anyway, so I think I was at this job for 8 months in total, and about 6 months in, we at this point were like 140 Danes, all in this little part of London
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are
yeah.
working at this specific job. Um,
At the same job?
yeah, yeah,
140?
yeah, yeah,
Holy okay.
yeah. Basically, just pure call center. We in this office building we had like one floor for ourselves. It
Mm.
was like this huge ass floor, and it was just rows of
Yeah, 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 yeah.
endless rows of tables, and
That's one of the jobs you
desks.
just a number, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You are just a number.
Mm.
But and every month there were still new people coming in and so on because
Mm.
people also at that time people started going home who had come there
Yeah, yep.
previously as some of the first and so on.
Mm.
Um, and at that time, I was also not. I wasn't like a manager or
Sorry.
anything, but I was sort of a right hand to the managers because I was on the second team that got over there. So I'd acquired quite a lot of knowledge and I knew how things were working and so on. And a lot of these people hadn't worked in this job before, but I had also worked before I even moved there in this job. So the job just moved location. Um, but at this point, there were so many people, and when you are so many people, there are bound to be people trying to cheat the system in some way.
Explain.
So when you're at this job receiving calls, what you're trying to do is not receive calls.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
of course, they track everything. I
Yeah,
mean, they
yeah,
have
KPIs?
KPIs
Yeah,
on
yeah,
point of KPIs. I think I counted it once, and I think I got to 27 KPIs. Yeah.
yeah.
The most commonly tracked ones are how long are your calls, how long in between your calls, and then how long how long are you not available for a call. You can set yourself in this mode where you're not available for a call, so you're like you put yourself on hold, so to speak, so
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't because then
Yeah,
it's like if you need to focus on something for a couple of
yeah,
minutes,
yeah. Then it'll be redirected to a free agent, right?
exactly,
Yeah,
or if you
yeah.
need to go to the bathroom, you do
Type
that.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. And then also how many times a day did you call out, and how long were those calls? But the amount of times called out was barely ever checked because it didn't really matter. Because what they cared about was how many calls were you receiving
Mm.
a day because we were doing support, and how long were those calls? Because if you had the best criteria is if you had a lot of calls and they were all like very short, let's say a
Mm.
minute, you were amazing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing at the job. Oh, and then another thing that's relevant that was also tracked is how often are customers that originally called you, that you received their call, how often are they calling back again after calling you?
Got it.
Yeah. So what some people started trying to avoid was, of course, receiving the calls. And apparently they tried in many different methods. So as I was sort of a right hand, I was also responsible for teaching and learning new people,
Of course you were.
newcomers,
Of course you were.
on how to do the job. And that also involved listening to people's calls randomly.
Mm.
So some days I would just randomly, we had a huge log. It didn't say a person's name or anything. It just said timestamp, how long this call was. And then I could just see, okay. So we're just listening to random calls because,
You and the boss?
sorry,
You and the boss or just you?
just me.
Fair.
And sometimes we would be with other people to teach them, like
Yeah.
it might be your own calls that we're listening to on repeat to hear, okay, what did you do wrong and stuff like
Fairness.
that. But we mostly did this because as when you call some like a company like that, they always tell you these calls might be used for training purposes, yada yada. And this is actually a training
and
purpose.
then like the bitch ass hold music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so these were the calls we were listening to, and as part of that, me and one other colleague, we started noticing something with the calls that were happening, that there was no audio on them. So we were like, okay, what's going on here?
For everyone or
No, just for a couple of people. And again,
suspicious.
we couldn't see if these calls were inbound, outbound. We just see timestamp, the call's length. That's it.
Fair.
And the date of when it happened. So we could then dive deeper and ask for a manager to check who actually did that call.
Yeah.
And we started to dive deeper, and we asked for a couple of people's like who took these calls, and then we went to confront those people. Like not confront them, we were just wondering, do you know why this might have happened?
¿Qué está pasando? What's going on?
Yeah, and some of these people I was quite close with, so I could go over there and ask them without assuming like a authority figure.
Fair,
or something.
so closer with them than you were with like the boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keeping it true.
So I went over and asked him, in a friendly manner, yes, because we were close. And I ended up finding out that apparently this has been going on for months that we didn't know about, where people had been using their outgoing calls to try and not receive inbound calls because the amount of calls weren't looked at. So they were only looking at amount of incoming calls, not amount of outgoing calls.
Fair.
The managers didn't care about that KPI, even though it was tracked. So these people that I was close with that I asked, they told me that for some time now, they had been using other companies, calling other companies in order to avoid receiving calls themselves.
Like other customer service lines?
Yeah, because some companies, they are famous for never answering.
Fair.
There are a couple of companies in Denmark, of course, also in England and so on, but we were working for a Danish company, even though we were in England. So they were calling known Danish companies that had very long queues. And that's why there was no audio, because they just called and put down the headset. Didn't even care.
Imagine like a system you have to devise and the effort you put into not wanting to work. Imagine if you just applied yourself to your job.
Yeah.
But then again, applied yourself to your job is customer service, bro. And it's just long, man.
Yeah. But, and at first we were like, me and the colleague who found out about this, we're like, that's crazy. And we wanted to first report it, but we didn't because we needed to figure out exactly what was going on. How was that going on and how was that working? And then all of a sudden, we couldn't detect it anymore. And that's because the companies so we went to ask them again, and it turned out that the companies that they called had either no longer that long queue or had a different system, so they couldn't, sit and wait in the queue at the same time. By the way, some of these companies, they were in like 42-minute queues and something. Like so they just put down the headset and just had 40 minutes of free time.
They also on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Just goes in circles.
Yeah. It takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, it does. But anyway, so we couldn't detect it anymore, and we're like, but it couldn't have just stopped. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then some time passes, and actually, we didn't discover this next thing that they did, but it turned out
there's an additional layer to this.
Yeah. Because again, they were trying to avoid it, avoid receiving the calls. And one of my then friends at the job came and told me because he at that time I was about my time due to leave the job as well.
Fairness.
I didn't really want to be there. I was looking for other places.
You didn't really care as much anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he actually came and told me what they were doing proactively because, he wanted me to be part of the goodness, so to speak.
Part of the hustle.
Yeah. And the reason why we couldn't detect these calls anymore, because we were, of course, looking out for the long calls, waiting in queues with no sound. But apparently in Denmark, we have a number for Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah, I've called them.
Yeah. So there's a number for Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It's the same pre-recorded message every time, but it's
Yeah, right. So you call him. Sorry to cut you off. So you call him, and then it plays like a message where he like takes what you would call like normal conversational breaks, so that the kids can answer and they'll
exactly
jump into that shit
yeah
head first.
exactly. It's actually a great feature.
Nice service though. Yeah,
I bet I've only heard good things about the kids actually using
Shout
it.
out Santa Claus.
Yeah. But no. So and this call is exactly 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's short enough to not affect your KPIs negatively, because that's still a short call in terms of support. And it doesn't catch up on any radars because it's not like a 40-minute call. So now all of a sudden you have these exact 2 minutes and 30 seconds calls in between all other calls, and it just looks like any other random call. But yeah, he came to tell me that they were doing it, and I tried it for myself, and it worked flawlessly. So people apparently were just sitting there calling Santa Claus nonstop all day, and then doing like 10 minutes of work, and then another hour they just call Santa.
Fuck, bro.
Again and again and again. And then just as I was about to leave, it was found out. Yeah, the top management found out, and they started putting people in one by one. How could I started questioning people?
How
like,
could you do this?
How could you do this to your colleagues? And there were like screens with queues, amount of people in queue for us. The receiving calls we were getting. And can't you see that screen? And other people are waiting in line, and now all your colleagues have to pick up the slack and all that stuff.
Yeah, the not give a fuckness had spread by this point.
Yep. And at this point, as I was pulled in, I was actually on that day, sort of the same situation as you. On that day, I told them I had another job. So what are you going to do? So he pulled me into the conversation.
Well, you said that?
Yeah.
Bro, you are a fucking gangster, man.
He pulled me into the conversation, and he said, well, what do you think about this and all? And I was like, I'm sorry, I just don't care. Not in these exact words, because I can't remember the exact words, but at the end of the day, I didn't care. And I just told him, actually, I have another job waiting for me. And then we ended up just saying, because we were weekly paid, so there were no like month leave or anything.
Yeah.
So it was just week by week, So we just said, okay, next week you're out. And then, I started at the other job.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. Just like that.
Crazy. But because the cues must have been what let them know that something is going on here. Fuck, bro.
Yeah. But also when you have, I think at the end there were like 20 people doing this out of 140. Still a good amount.
That's a crazy percentage.
Yeah.
That's a crazy percentage, to be honest.
Yeah. So they could also, see that if they track the KPIs overall, a lot of people were, bumping out on how many calls they were having outgoing.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's like 13.7% or something. That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, that was a nice story. That was nice, but also crazy. Gangster little with yourself there.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, all the people who was part of that burned the bridge with that company forever.
Bro, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, bro. Yeah. I think this customer service in not all, right, but in a lot of people's lives, it's a phase that you go through. At least for the people I know. So yeah, like, fuck that, bro.
But I found out that I burned the bridge also because I partook in it in the last part of my time there. And when I then moved home, I think I went half a year before I found the next job, which was, it was all right, but I still tried to get a job. And that also meant contacting people I knew who had moved to Denmark and also worked at the same company. So I tried to reach out to them, nothing. It's just silence.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, that bridge was burnt.
Yeah. Thank you for being honest though and keeping it true.
Yeah.
Sharing like a detail.
People are probably gonna call me out for it, but
who gives a shit, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyways, I wanted to tell you a story about like my upbringing. So basically, as the people listening and watching might know, I'm half Mexican and half Danish, right? And
so you're Mexican? No, Spanish.
Do you remember last episode when I said, because I do this sometimes, right? Because I like mixing in Spanish words. They did that a lot where I lived in Gibraltar as well. People like speak English and mixing Spanish words. Do you remember when I said sacrificio? Yeah. And you deduced that was sacrificed, right? Yeah. Right. So for those that grew up bilingual, you'll probably relate to this. But for those that don't know, when you grow up bilingual or trilingual, you could probably call it, because I learned English at an early age as well. When you grow up bilingual, there's been like studies done on this, but you always have a dominant language, and it's
Yeah.
usually the language that you're the most exposed to. And growing up, obviously because most of my family lives in Mexico, right? So growing up, I only really had my mom to speak Spanish with, which means that like my vocabulary was not as good.
Right.
It's better now. It's much better now since I lived in Spain too. And then I still have some like consistent grammatical errors that I have. It's hard for me to get rid of. Again, better now since I lived in Spain. But yeah, so what I would often do is use the technique you used to like sort of like guess my way into what a word is, right?
Okay, makes sense.
I'm going to tell you a story about one time that failed. So,
Interesting.
yeah. So, bro, this is like when I was, because it wasn't in my first community, bro. So I want to say I was like 9.
Yeah.
We're in Mexico. We're chilling at my uncle's place. He was there. My other uncle was there. My auntie was there. My parents were there. My cousins were there. 2 of my cousins were there. We were waiting for the third cousin to come, and then also their girlfriends were there. So then my youngest cousin comes in, but at this point, bro, they're still like 20, 21 or something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
like I was the
okay.
youngest of that bunch.
How old were you
Of all
again,
the
sorry?
cousins, sorry,
How old were you again? Sorry.
so like 8, 9,
Okay.
9. Let's say 9. But about of all the cousins, because my mom has let's just say six siblings, right? And they all have like 3 kids. But I was the youngest of that bunch. Anyways, also because my mom was one of the youngest in her out of all her siblings. Back to the story. So my youngest cousin comes in with his girlfriend, right? And I'm sitting in the chair, and then she comes over, and then I give her like I reach out to shake her hand to say hello whilst I'm sitting,
Yeah.
which is like a big no-no, bro, like culture-wise, because you're supposed to stand up for women. But
Yeah.
it's not that I didn't know that. I just hadn't thought about it at that moment in time. So when I do, like, I sit down, my uncle, who's my mom's twin, corrects me and say, you should always stand up when you're greeting a lady.
Okay.
And that embarrassed me, bro. And then, I got kind of sad, and then I went over to my mom and I whispered, but just loudly enough for the others to hear as well.
Oh.
I'll pause it there, and then I'll ask you, since sacrificial means sacrifice, how do you think you say embarrassed in Spanish?
Embarrassed.
Yeah, just using that same technique.
What was it? Sacrificio?
Sacrificial is sacrifice, right?
All right.
So how do you think you say embarrassed in Spanish?
Well, it must be something imbar. Can it be embarazado?
Bro, that's actually embarazado.
Embarazado?
Yeah, that's not it. That's another word. It means pregnant, right? So
Wait, what?
So I whispered to my mom, "Estoy embarazado," which basically me telling her that I'm pregnant. Bro, they all burst. Every single person in that living room burst out laughing. Yeah, I think even my mom couldn't help it, to be honest. Bro, not gonna lie, I cried and ran up the stairs and went into one of my cousin's rooms because I was really embarazado at that point, right? The technique has failed a couple of times, but because like English also has like some Latin roots and
Yeah.
and Spanish obviously has Latin roots, right? I tend to get away with this a lot, and then I'll like once I use it in a conversation and someone doesn't like say what the fuck are you talking about, then I'll note down in my head, okay, that word means that. But yeah, bro, that was super embarrassing. That was so embarrassing, right? Like not only was I embarrassed because I had like not been chivalrous, right? Because that's something I've been raised to do, like be a gentleman, right? And by the way, trust that I've always stood up when greeting a woman. Since that day, I will always abide by that, right? But not only was I embarrassed by that, right? Felt like kind of like called out in front of people, fair enough. Then I go estoy embarazado to my mom, and like. Yeah, bro, it was just fucking long for me that day. It was really long for me, but it also taught me some stuff. I learned that it's haber Gonzalo, and yeah.
So how do you say embarrassed?
Haber Gonzalo.
Oh, haber Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Wait, Gonzalo?
Gonzalo.
Oh,
With the softy.
Okay, so not like the name.
No.
Okay.
So that was a little that was a little fun trip down memory lane.
Embarazado.
Yeah.
Okay. Pregnant. I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I didn't either, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I heard you have. Sorry, just pause there. It's funny when we say I heard you have because we do the agenda before this, right?
True.
I know you have an Am I the Asshole for us. I'm looking forward to it.
I do. So we previously ran sort of an advice on here, and we've also pulled some other stories from Reddit. But yeah, I brought in Am I the Asshole?
Yeah. Before we continue, again, if any of you guys have any cool stories, crazy stories, dilemmas, are you in need of advice, holla at your boys. We got hella advice. You get some word of the wise, probably resolve your situation, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And if
help.
not, at least you get a kick out of watching us talk about it, right? So
Yeah.
do that. We'll give you a shout out. Send all the love, man.
For sure. But yeah, let me just bring the tablet over here. So, because I have it ready, prepared. The title of this is Someone at Work Stole My Chair, so I had them arrested.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry? Can you say that again?
Someone at work stole my chair, so I had them arrested.
Wow, bro. On a pettiness scale, just off the title,
Yeah.
we're talking S tier pettiness.
That's
bro.
crazy. Okay, so it reads like this. It's not that long, but it's semi-long. Let's see. I got a new job in sales, working for a company that sells access control systems like CCTV systems, stuff
Fair.
like that. Yeah. The chair in his cubicle was uncomfortable as fuck. So on day 3, he brought in his own Herman Miller Aeron chair.
The OP, the original poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like an $1,800 chair. So it's
Damn.
hella expensive. Yeah. But I get it. One thing is that it can be uncomfortable. Another thing is that, it could be back issues, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the day after he brought it in, he comes into his cubicle. The chair is missing. Like, where is it gone? So he checks around the office and sees that another sales guy is sitting on it, on his chair. He's taking his chair. So he asks for it back, but he's told just to fuck off. Yeah. So he went to speak to the...
Sorry, we are assuming that he said he brought it from home, right?
I would have guessed so, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good argument, though. Anyway, sorry to cut you off. Continue.
He goes to the owner of the company, so this must be a small company.
Fair.
Yeah. And tells him the story, and he basically gets told back, chairs aren't reserved, first come, first serve.
But bro, it's my chair.
Exactly.
Already I'm getting pissed now.
Yeah. So the boss tells him, if you want it, meet earlier next day.
So just come in early.
Yeah, just come in earlier. And he even says here that he explains that he owns the chair to the boss. Nope, just gotta come in early. Yeah. So the next day, same guy sitting in the chair when he gets to the office, and he tells him to give it back or he's gonna call the cops. Of course, he refused. So the guy, the original poster here, calls the cops. Apparently, it was quite the scene. But in the end, the coworker admitted to taking the $1,800 chair. And this guy, the original poster, he was prepared because he had the receipts, which show the serial number. And those chairs, they have serial numbers because they also...
What was the brand again?
Herman Miller.
Are those the same ones we have at the office?
Yeah.
Well, they are expensive.
Yeah. And those we have at the office, not even that good. These, next level.
Fairness.
Yeah. But no, they all have serial number because they have like a lifelong guarantee and stuff like that. But yeah. So then the cops asks the guy who called the cops if he wanted to press charges. Then the boss said that he would be terminated if he did press charges.
That must be illegal. Like union law wise, I'm not well versed, but that must be illegal.
Probably, but I would assume that this is in the United States. So probably not.
Yeah, somebody listening or watching right now in a workers' council is fuming right now, bro. Yeah, because they know that cannot run.
No, please fact check us. But yeah, let us know. But anyway, so the guy, the original poster here, after being told that he would be terminated, he turns to the cops, tells them, "Absolutely, I want to press charges."
What a G, bro. What a G.
So it seems like on the first day he had no balls. Now he's got all the balls.
Do you know what? Yeah. To be honest, when you read the title first, my first thought was, bro, why are you being such a bitch over a chair? But now that we found out that he owned it and that he legit tried to go the correct way, it's like when kids in like kindergarten, right? You tell them always like go find an adult and don't like fight the other kids or whatever. He actually did that. He went to the guy and said, "Look, it's my chair." Yeah. He was told to fuck off. okay. And then he went to the boss, said the same thing. He was like, yeah, chairs aren't reserved. Even though he said it was his own.
Yeah.
Sorry. I gotta applaud that, man. I gotta applaud
agree.
that because I think he did what was up, and I think it was a fucking G move to quit, like to quit on the spot when he said, "Absolutely, fucking arrest this guy."
Yeah. But it's not over yet. There's a bit more.
Oh
bit
shit!
more.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. So, of course, he was fired on the spot. So he took his chair, carried it out, and left. And the cops arrested him on the spot because he admitted to it.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah. So, the guy who took his chair had been in the industry for 15 years. But now, because of this, he was going to lose his security license because CCTVs and stuff, you need a license for that.
Bro.
So he would lose his license, which means he won't be able to find work in that industry at least.
Bro, that's what you get for being a bitch about other people's things, man.
Yeah. So
just desserts, huh?
Definitely. So is he the asshole for getting him arrested?
Hell no.
No?
Hell to the motherfucking no, bro.
No.
Like I just told you, I thought he was being a bitch about it, but bro, he did exactly what he should have done. He did exactly what he should have done to the T. He didn't even because should he have done it differently? Should he have started something like with the guy when he confronted him first? Probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Some people might have done it, but I think he was in the right. I think it was in the right. And this was not, by the way, this was not petty at all. This was just a search.
Because he even warns the colleague, says, I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
He pulled through.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then the guy was like, yeah, this motherfucker's bluffing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he called his bluff. Yeah.
No, bro, he is definitely not the asshole.
No. It's a crazy story, but definitely not the asshole.
Definitely not the asshole. Yeah, no. Not at all. Not at all. What a great story, by the way. What a great story. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. I thought I was going to clown on this guy for being petty over a fucking chair.
Yeah.
But yeah. Turn of events. We're turning. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go into our lovely playlist segment.
Ooh,
if you don't know, guys, we have a playlist. Every episode, we add a new song to the playlist. We're trying to get like a diverse range of songs, so there's something for everybody in there. If you want to be a part of this, leave a comment. Tell us which song we should maybe consider putting on a playlist. And if it falls within our taste, we'll give you a shout out and put it on the playlist. Until then, today is your turn, Henrik.
My turn.
Yeah. Last time I had Dire Straits Money for Nothing.
Right.
I actually still haven't played that for you yet, so I'll do it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious to hear what your addition to the playlist is today.
I could go so many ways.
Yeah.
Because I could go back to the EDM genre.
Yeah, you're free to do that. So,
I know
by the
that.
way, if you don't know, we don't have strict rules, but we try to jump from genre and time so that it's not all like within the same as far as like the playlist.
There's one song I want to pick, but the last one I chose was already kind of slow. So I don't want to choose it just because it is a bit slow.
Fair.
Maybe I'll save that for next time. I think for this one, I will go with... I'm not sure if he's still up and coming, but he's definitely a new artist. I could choose a different one. But what's the full name of that? I know the artist. We're going to go with that one. So there's this artist called Jude. Just Jude.
Jude?
Yeah.
Like the Beatles song?
I guess.
Hey Jude?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he has this song where it's just the vibes on point.
Fair.
Apparently, he is a child of some opera singers or something. Like apparently famous opera singers. I don't know. His name is Jude York. And he has this song called Monaco.
Okay.
The vibes are just on point. Like, this is a song you listen to driving down a highway in the summer, windows down. Maybe not a highway then, but like a step below a highway. Windows down, just enjoying life, you know. Life is being lived. That's the song. Life is being lived. Yeah.
The life is being lived. What? Yeah, first of all, I'm going to listen to that song afterwards. Let's exchange songs. The life is being lived is perhaps my favorite quote because it's one that arose from, between us.
Yeah.
But speaking of quotes, do you see what I did there?
What a segue. What a segue.
Our new segment, which we started last episode, quote of the week. And bro, I am ready for this one.
Yeah. So I brought another quote, obviously. And this one, I'm curious who can see themselves in it, if you can, and if you, the listener or viewer, can. But anyway, the quote goes, "If you're still trying, you didn't fail. You just found a way that didn't work."
I like that. It relates to persistence and consistency.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I think that's something a lot of people can use, and especially me. I mean, when I heard this, definitely needed to hear it, because often I think we forget just how many times we fail in life in general and how okay it is to fail. I mean, you learn by failing.
Yeah.
So
sure.
just try. I mean, sure, some things are more bittersweet to fail at. But if you don't try, then you're even worse off.
Yeah.
Because you didn't try at all.
Yeah, it's like that quote from Michael Jordan when he says, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
True.
The thing about quotes about trying, right? And this whole like embracing failing thing, is that it, until you embrace the trueness of it, it just sounds so cliche.
It does.
Because there's so many variations of it, right? And like people say it, and then you'll see like fucking Tony Robbins on YouTube being all inspirational, and you're like, whatever, bro. Like, miss me with all of that. And who are all these suckers listening to this? But like once you get into a point in your life where that actually applies, and then you can see the trueness of it, then that's, those words hold crazy meaning.
Yeah. And I can definitely see the meaning right now with what we're trying to do. So,
I mean, again, this one resonates a lot with our project, right? So, this is a good one, bro. This is a good one. I want us to rate this one as well.
Oh, yeah, rating.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So that was last week. So this one.
So last week we settled on 8.2, yeah?
I want you to rate this first.
I'm going to rate this 7.3, but the reason I'm rating it 7.3 is because there are so many variations of this one, and this is not, there are a lot of these that are better worded than this one, in my opinion.
For sure.
It still stands. It's still a strong one. 7.3 is not a bad rating, but there are other versions of this, in my opinion, that are better worded.
I'll probably go like a 7.
Okay.
Because I think it's good, but it's also not that good.
Do you want me to 7.1 or 7.2?
Let's meet a 7.2. I'm okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I feel like you gave me some leeway last time, so
I did.
Yeah. So let's meet a 7.2 on this one. 7.2. Yeah.
Fair. Cool. Well, guys, that wraps it up. Thank you for watching and listening. I tend to only thank the watchers, but obviously we also love the listeners. Give us a like, send us a little comment, story, dilemma, some love, some hate. We don't discriminate. Hit the subscribe button, and patreon.com/truenesspodcast if you're really serious about sending your boys some love. Until then, troopers, keep it true.